37 Frank is a project that you may have heard about in the news. The person leading that project downtown is Dave Berdan, who is with us here. Dave, I'm going to invite you to come forward now for our interview, with gratitude for taking the time to be here with us this morning. Let you have the bench there.
Thank you.
And Dave Berdan is probably better known to you as Kaylee's dad.
There she is.
There she is. So let's jump right into it. What's your connection to Strathroy, Dave?
Well, my connection to Strathroy, actually, I grew up just around the corner over on Center Street. And my best friend growing up as a little guy was Steve and Vince Pelkman, who lived right across the road. You guys all know Ann. And so as a kid, we played all around here. In fact, we played a lot of football and sports on your property right here, which is probably why there's a big tree in the middle of it, because I think...
To stop it.
To stop it, yeah, because I think we hurt the grass a little bit. And I thought I saw him here. I think he is. Mr. Brown, he's here, I believe. Right. There he is. He was my principal. No stories from you, thank you very much. So, yeah, so that's my connection for Strathroy. And then we were married here. We lived on High Street, and I married a girl from Mount Bridges. And then we moved away to Midland, Penetang area. And we lived there for about 20 years. And that's where I was working as an education assistant. And that's where I discovered my mission to work with youth. And I did youth ministry there for about 15 years. And then Youth for Christ kind of came up, and we wanted to move back home while our family lived here. And it allowed me to continue on the mission full time that I wanted to do, that I felt called to do. And so we were led here, and here we are, back home.
Welcome to Strathroy.
Thank you.
So before we talk about the Frank Street project, can you talk to us about what need you see in this community?
So as I've been back, I've had an opportunity as a missionary to walk and interview a lot of local officials working with different agencies and talking to different people, and from my own view. And the needs are quite prevalent and quite dark. There's a lot of homelessness with youth. It's mostly invisible. They're couch surfing. There's quite a bit of poverty. There's a lot of kids going hungry. There's severe heavy drug problem in Strathroy. It's called Strathvegas. Its nickname. That's not a good nickname, because you can get anything you want anytime. Being in the 402 corridor means we're an area of high trafficking. And one of the darkest things that I discovered that really alarmed me was there's human sex trafficking of young girls right here in our town. And that has to do with drugs as well. But yeah, so these are just some of the needs that are quite prevalent. And then as I was doing this, the need for a place for these youth, not just in crisis, but any youth, to be able to come, to be safe, that something isn't always asking and trying to get something from them, and that they can come and be known and be welcome, and just to be able to say, hey John, how you doing? You know, and oh, somebody knows I exist. There's a need for that, and all of this is generating what I see is a need for hope for these youth, a hope that they're loved, that they're needed, that they're wanted, that they're somebody. So there's a general need for that hope.
And the drop-in center comes in to meet that need. Can you tell us about the drop-in center?
Yeah, so actually, great story. Some of you may not know, I've been here about 2 years now, 2.5, and we originally had opportunity to have a drop-in center at the old ambulance base on Frank and Albert there. And so we were in there, and we were starting to renovate, and it got sold. And so we found ourselves out. And in that frustration and in that, okay, now what? We've kind of back to the drawing board, and we started walking again and doing youth programs, and you see the NERF, and I helped Kaylee and stuff like that. And so, and then all of a sudden this gentleman came to me and said, listen, I heard you speak. I like what YFC is doing, and we want to help. I want to rent you my building. And in the process of renting this building, or negotiating, I just saw doors and hope, just God work in amazing ways. And this gentleman just kind of all of a sudden just decided, you know what, that rent's too much, you can't afford that, I'm going to lower the rent. And then we need sponsors for rent, and he started going out and getting sponsors, and then next thing you know, the whole object of rent, we have sponsors for every month of the year for 5 years for our rent. So, and that just happened in a matter of months. And the excitement and conversation that has been built up with that. So, so now we have the doors that we can open. So, and now what we want to do is it's a youth coffee house refuge. So what we want to do is we want to be a place where the youth can come if they're in crisis or not, and they can seek help, warmth, safety. We'll have shower, we'll have laundry, food, toiletries, backpacks, access to clothing, all these things for these youth in crisis. And then we'll also just be a spot where the youth can come and find community and find safety and just a place to be that they can just hang out. And then from there we can have like a pottery night or drama night or all these different things that they can be a part of and want to be a part of. So,
and this property is right across from Town Hall. You have people who are renovating it. The pictures that I have, unfortunately, you can't really see the clarity.
Yeah.
These are photos of renovations that are going on. Yeah, the pictures don't show well on the wall, but you have a number of people who are helping out already with gutting the insides and doing renovations.
Yeah.
Now let's sort of widen the focus here back to homelessness. You're on the Homelessness Action Committee. Can you tell us about the issue of homelessness in town?
Yeah, the issue of homelessness, like, is very prevalent. And just like in your speech, I loved. In fact, congratulations on you guys for starting another day that somebody can get some food. The soup kitchen. That was wonderful news. I was going to stand up and applaud, but I would have marked myself out a little bit there, but
it made it look like you wanted them to applaud at the end of yours.
Okay, yeah. So, but no, honestly, like, congratulations. That's the need. We need the homelessness issue 2 years ago, 3 years ago. The conversation wasn't there. Now people are starting to understand, especially with the little tent city that was there. They understood. The prevalence of the homelessness issue is here, and there's people that need help. And anybody that works with your hospitality dinner, is that what it's called? Yeah. Should realize, like, you guys are full. What, you feed about 100 people, right? So you can see that need is growing, and that's there. And London is bursting at the seams, and they can't hold what they have, so it's also spilling out here, not to mention also what we have already here. So
the need is there. What's the Homelessness Action Committee up to?
On the Homelessness Action Committees, right now we've established the needs and what is out there to help combat and help the needs. And basically our whole purpose was to find the gaps, and with this document that we're going to be presenting so that people can access where to go, you can see the huge gaps of what still is to come. So the next step is to present those gaps, public awareness, and get those needs out there to the community and say, okay, listen, we need a warming shelter, we need more food, like a soup kitchen every single day, to get the word out. And then the next phase is to actually establish an out of the cold shelter system, whatever that's going to look like.
So our last question, how do we need to change as a society and also as individuals around this need? How can this congregation help with that?
The biggest thing is continue to speak, continue to open your eyes to the issue, to that these are human beings and they need our help. They need the community behind them. They have been invisible for too long, and it's time to, and I loved your salt. That was good. It's time to be the salt. It's time to get going on that and really just do what we can, open our eyes. As far as the youth, 37 Frank is going to be called a Youth Coffee House Refuge. We're in the process of, we have to fundraise everything. This is a Canadian registered charity, so everything we do stays in Strathroy, but I have to raise everything. So right now we have people working, we have tradesmen giving their time, so we need continued tradesmen to bring their skills, and we need materials.
You mentioned that if anyone knows a drywaller.
Yeah, drywall. Right now, the next thing we need to do, because there's an apartment upstairs, we need to drywall the ceiling, and we need someone to be able to do that. We need drywall. And then when we go to open, we need furnishings, toiletries to give out, like all that kind of thing. Not only do we need material, we need volunteers. This place, I'm only one guy. I can only be there so long. My wife does need me at home sometimes. And my daughter needs my help a lot. No, I'm just kidding. See that dick. Anyway, and so we need that. I need volunteers to help, not only with the build, but with actually when we run the center. And then, as always, prayer but financial. It's always, we need financial help as well, and that's kind of what we need.
So you're going to be here after the service downstairs for coffee.
Yeah, I'd love to.
So you'll be available if people want to ask more questions of Dave, to find out where perhaps where your gifts or your resources can intersect with this project. You're open to keeping this conversation going, obviously.
Yeah, for sure.
And our scripture passage today about being the salt of the earth, of being a lamp, the light of the world, and not being hidden. It's about faith. It's about our not hiding our faith and not hiding the actions that our faith drives. And I see that's what you're up to. You're not just talking, but you're doing what it is that we believe as followers of Jesus Christ. And so on behalf of the congregation, we offer you our prayers and our blessings. And if you could put your hands together to thank Dave for the interview today.
Thank you. One thing I just wanted to say, and I forgot to mention, and it's just so important, if this building up and going, when we get running, as a community, we can save some of these kids' lives. That's how important that is. So I thank you guys for allowing me to be here and take your time. And
if we think about it not just as saving a kid's life, but that those kids could be our children or our grandchildren, yet to get involved in something that needs some help.
Yeah, and once given hope, we know that these kids can then become our leaders, and then they can take the mantle, and then they can help, and the process can continue. So, thank you very much.
Don't forget to turn off your mic during the hymns.